Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. So today I'm doing a deck review on the Sharman-Caselli tarot deck, which is also a very Rider-Waite inspired deck, and it comes as a little kit in a little box. It's very beautiful, and this is quite sturdy, I love this box. It's beautiful. Very, very nicely packaged, beautifully done. And it's got a lot of the Rider-Waite symbology, beautiful picture on the front, very nice pastel shades to the deck. It's a deck that was designed by Juliet Sharman of the Mythic Tarot fame, and it's been painted by Giovanni Caselli, and the paintings are really, really beautiful. It's got a lot of imagery on it, and something that is really nice, it's Rider-Waite inspired, believe it or not. And so you can use it as a novice reader, or you can use it as a very experienced tarot reader. So either way, it's a really good investment to make. Beautifully colored deck, and very easy to read as well. Very, very simple to read. I love this deck. I've used it quite extensively, and it gives really good messages. So pretty much one of my favorites. So like I said, it comes in this really, really nice box, and it comes with a book, which is not quite the little white book as you'd expect. It's been very, very well designed. I like this book, and it's quite a learning book, if anything, and very easy to carry in your pocket if you wanted to just keep it and read it. And it's got little pictures in it, so it comes with a nice introduction about the deck itself. So a few pages on that, and then it goes into your minor arcana, and each one, if you can see, has got the card on it, and it's got the symbolism of what everything means in the card itself. So, if you've got the Ace of Cups here, what the clouds mean, what the cup represents, what the 5 streams coming out of the cup represents, and it's got a little theme heading over here, which tells you, the basic meaning of the card, which says an upsurge of emotions in this particular card, the Ace of Cups. So very beautifully done, very easy to learn something like this. You've got the cards, you can make the association of what you're reading with the symbolism, and you've got a nice little theme over there. And once you learn that, it's just so much easier to understand what you're doing when you're doing a reading. You can make that quick association in your head between the picture and the meaning of the card and all the symbolisms that go with it. So beautifully done. I love this book. It's such a great learning book in itself. So it goes through the minor arcana very nicely, and then goes through the major arcana. There's a bit of variation here. So it's got some of the Marseille tarot meanings incorporated within it, but it's basically based on the Rider-Waite, so it will be easy for you to learn any extra symbolism that comes in. And it does a sample reading as well, which tells you on how to actually read the cards. So they've got the horseshoe spread here with interpretation of it, and that's really, really lovely. And it's got a little bit where you can make some notes about what is going on. If you have anything extra that you wanted to add, a nice little section where you can make some notes about the tarot read itself. So in the back, it's got a little bit about the author, Juliet Sharman-Caselli and Giovanni Caselli. So beautifully done book. I think this is one of the best. I wouldn't call it a little white book exactly, but a nice little book to have with the deck itself. You can carry it, keep it separately, learn it, and then go and approach the cards after you've gone through the book, or keep it and use it with the cards itself. But so nice that it's got the illustrations within the book itself, so you don't have to go and take out that particular card and look at the illustrations exactly. It's telling you everything, as well as the symbolism, which is so important, that they've got the symbolism available for you, because not all the little white books tell you exactly what, here you've got the 2 coins, the 2 of Pentacles here, and it's telling you what the Pentacles up in the air means, that it's fluctuating finances, or what the ships mean in the back. So you know exactly what you're getting, or what you're learning or seeing when you pick up the cards, because you've now seen it already in the book. So extremely well designed book. I think it's just an extremely well designed set with this box. It's just wonderful. You know you're keeping the box is not getting, and I've used this deck so much, and the box has got absolutely no wear and tear on it, and I just love it for that. It's traveled a lot, this deck, and I think that's just wonderful. Now the backs of the cards are not particularly impressive, let me put it to you that way, as they've just got plain pink background. There's nothing there, and you can read them as upright or reversed, depending on what you want. And the cardstock is reasonable. It's not too thick, and it's got it's quite bendable. It's got a nice little matte silky kind of finish to it, so pretty okay. Very much a usable deck, not too slippery and slidey. It won't, if you're shuffling it, it's not going to fly all over the room. Let me put it that way. So like I've done in the last deck, I'm just going to show you, put it up against the Rider-Waite deck, just to show you the difference between the 2 decks. They're about the same height, as you can see, and they're about the same thickness as well. So very much similar to the Radiant Rider-Waite, and same thickness. So very similar to it. So if you're losing interest in the Rider-Waite decks, this is a really excellent deck to get, and something I would highly recommend, I'm sure. So here's the Fool card, which has got basically most of the symbology. You've got the dog over there, and you've got the flower, the rose in his hand. The coloring is really good. It's emphasizing that red of action on his clothes. You can see how enthusiastic the faces of this Fool is. So the expression's really very good. You can see the expressions, you can see in the enthusiasm, and makes for a really good reading. You can see them, and the reading is pretty good by seeing expressions. So this is the Magician. It looks slightly wider. It's got a border as well, and it's got written, the Magician is written at the top. These cards do not have the number on the card itself, because sometimes the major arcana varies as what number pertains to what card. So you can choose which card you want the number to be, really. Sometimes, strength varies with justice or the Hangman. So there's variations, but, going down the standard route, you can just use it according to standard Rider-Waite numerology or numbers. So anyway, saying that, this is the Magician card, and you can see that table is pretty clear with everything on it. And it's got the background yellow that you are looking for in a Magician card. So this is the High Priestess. She it is very similar. It's showing that that she is sitting there in front of those pomegranate, the pomegranate cloth being emphasized a bit more here, and you've got the pillars with her. Then you've got the Empress. And this card is showing the abundance really well over here with this yellow background. Then you've got the Emperor. And that's really emphasizing, the scarcity in the background. Very well in this card. And the Hierophant. And he definitely looks like a teacher, or a priest. You can see that the emphasis here is on the knowledge and the information. That is not really emphasized here in the Rider-Waite deck, but definitely emphasized here with the book on his hand, on his lap. And the Lovers. So this is a different symbology, with the 3 showing that this is the old interpretation of the Lovers card, which was always a choice card. But in the Rider-Waite, they seem to have, they took that particular thing out, but you can see it quite clearly here. And you've got the Chariot, which just shows so much of movement and action within that Chariot card, which you don't get really with the Rider-Waite with the two sphinxes being sitting down and not moving, but here you can see that movement and you can feel that energy of the Chariot card. This is the Strength card. You know, your lion is so nicely emphasized there, which shows, you know, your obstacles or your problems that you're dealing with. And then you've got the Hermit card. And I like the fact that they've got this little snake at the bottom here for this Hermit card. There's the Wheel of Fortune. And Justice. The Hangman, pretty similar. The colors are really nice. And Death in this deck is on a horse. You don't always get Death on a horse, but it's really good. And what's nice about this deck, he's carrying the hourglass, showing, you know, the passage of time. But you've got that priest over here looking at death, and you've got the man lying dead on the floor there. So, you know, you can see it. You see all the symbology that you need. Here he's carrying a scythe rather than the actual rose on the flag. And here you've got Temperance. And the Devil. Seems like a rather friendly devil, if you ask me. But you do see the people chained up here. And this is the Tower. And the Star. You've got the Moon. They're pretty much very similar. And here as well, this is the Sun with the baby on the horse as well. You've got Judgment, and here you do have the coffins and them emerging from the coffins with the angel calling out. And you've got the World card, and they're pretty much the same, really, not very dissimilar to each other. So going to the suits, you've got the Ace of Cups here, the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. This emphasizing that house, you know, here you can't really see the house that much, the stability, but here very beautifully done. You know, it's a castle, it's a palace, you know, so showing that attainment of your goals, so beautifully done. And you know, like I said, the book shows the symbology so beautifully, so it's easy reading. It's very simple, it's uncluttered. So this is the Page of Cups. And that's nice, you know, it's showing you the water element of this Page of Cups very, very clearly. The Knight of Cups. Here as well, this water is being emphasized so beautifully here, you know, and this movement along this road, which you don't quite see that well. I mean, you have to sort of imagine it within the Rider-Waite that he's moving. But here you can see this road, this path, you know. You've got the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups. He's got a cushion under his legs, so you can see he's a man who loves his little luxuries in life. And you've got the Ace of Swords, the Two of Swords. This is on the box, the picture on the box. the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, which is showing somebody lying, sort of in the church. So really beautifully done. The Five of Swords, and this really does show this victory card, the vindictiveness and the victory on this person's face, which doesn't really, I mean, it shows it here, but this is really showing, it quite clearly. Somebody taking a lot of pleasure in causing heartache to people with this Five of Swords. And you've got the Six of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is showing the theft of something quite clearly as well, laughing that he's running away with all the swords. So beautifully done, and like I said, the book's showing the pictures so nicely, so it's going to be quite easy to look at this and remember these. So this is the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords. Where is it? This is the Ten of Swords. Here you go. Showing that sunrise very nicely, after being miserably defeated. So this is the Page of Swords. And you can see, the Page of Swords always rushing into things, and here you can see it done quite clearly here. And the colors are very, very nice. They're very calming, beautifully painted. This is the Knight of Swords, and this shows so much of movement, and you can see the wind-swept trees in the background over here. You can see how fast this knight is moving. I mean, here it also shows, with the clouds, but here, the way he's drawn it with all these lines, you can actually feel the speed when you look at this card, and that horse looks just really very aggressive. So you can actually feel the aggression on this card. Excuse me. This is the Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords. And now the wand suits, the Ace of Wands. And this is nice. You can see the here that you've got leaves coming out of the wands, but here you've got fire, because the wands is associated with fire, and you can see the starkness of the landscape as well. So you can feel the energy. It's a very fiery energy. You almost feel hot and dry looking at this particular card. And you can see that coloring is emphasized right through, because it's got that yellowish tinge and the red. All of this is the action of the wands cards, and you've got your little salamander over here. So it's showing that hot, dry heat kind of thing. And all the rods have got that fire coming out of it. So it's showing, emphasizing the fire aspect of the wands cards. This is the Three of Wands, but the images are very clear on it as well. The Four of Wands, and this is showing like a victory kind of thing going on over here. And the Five of Wands, you can see everybody fighting here. And Six of Wands, showing your victory. The Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands, and you can see he's directing. Here there's no people in this Eight of Wands, but here you can see he's directing. So, the Eight of Wands, it speaks about movement, but it also speaks about directing your energies. And this is emphasized with him shooting it off from this bow and arrow kind of thing. The Nine of Wands, marking your line in the sand there. So this is the card of defense, and it's quite nicely emphasized over there. And the Ten of Wands, and you can see that burden and that road. Things that are not quite clear on the Rider-Waite are really nicely emphasized, and it brings this new dimension to the reading of the card. This is the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Here too you can see the movement. This horse has got no feet on the ground, so you can really see him moving pretty quickly as well. This red emphasizing this aggression, this movement quite quick. movement going through, you know. So you can feel the energy of the cards by just looking at it. This is the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. And he looks quite jovial, you know. He's quite an approachable man, this King of Wands. So you can really see it with rams really nicely drawn over there, you know. And he's a bit on the plump side, so you can see that, you know, he is somebody that is, you know, well-to-do, who lives well. You've got the nice little lions on the top over here. Although you've got lions in the back of the throne here, they are very, very nicely drawn over here with that symbol of the fire. So the fire part of it really, really nicely emphasized over here. So this is the Pentacles suit. And this is the Ace of Pentacles. This doorway, beautifully done, beautifully done. And this is the Two of Pentacles. You can see him juggling really nicely there. And the Three of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. And this has got a little casket that he's sitting with all his money in it and holding on to it so tightly. So very nicely. The city is still represented in the back over here, but you can see him looking to the future. So you can see that, you know, he's really saving up for the future there. And you've got the Five of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. And he looks like he's pretty hard at work there. You know, you can see the craftsman at work there. The Nine of Pentacles. So all the elements are very, very much the same. You know, with the falcon and these pentacles and the grapes. So pretty much really emphasizing all the elements that are in the Rider-Waite deck. And the Ten of Pentacles. And this is beautifully done, but you have more emphasis on the generational aspect of it and the animal aspect of it. So, and you've got that stability you can see with the that castle in the back over there. So really bringing things out that isn't really emphasized so much in the Rider-Waite deck. And you've got the Page of Pentacles, and this is nice because you can see this furrowed land over here, so the farming going on, because the Page is usually, Pentacles is associated with farming and the farmers, so you can see the hard work that has gone in, which is not really emphasized in the Rider-Waite deck, that this is a farmer, this Page of Pentacles. Nor is it really, you know, you can see there's farming here, but it's very, very, very emphasized here. And the horse, you know, you can see is that a workhorse, you know, and it's very, very clear here in this that, you know, Knight of Pentacles is also a farmer. So you get that feeling of him being a farmer and being a cart horse rather than, you know, a horse that's going to battle. So this is the Queen of Pentacles. And here you've got the cows showing the earth, the Taurus aspect of it, or the earth sign aspect of it, and the abundance around it. So beautifully done. And finally, the King of Pentacles, which is showing the ram's heads here, you know, the Capricorn, and then the house in the back. You've got the grapes, but it's not cluttered. You've got it all the symbology is here. And you can see it very clearly. I mean, just one glance at it and you know what you're looking for when you're looking at the card. So very beautifully done. This deck is very beautifully done. And, you know, it comes in such a lovely kit. The colors are so vibrant. And, you know, it's showing you things that you will see in the Rider-Waite deck. And it's emphasizing and picking up those particular aspects that are important. And it's adding a little bit here and there just to make sure that you are aware. So for instance, in the Fool card, you've got the butterfly of transformation. It's not quite clear here. It's not in the Rider-Waite deck, but it's definitely here. And you know, your dog is pretty much showing, you know, he's looking up at the person, and you can see that, you know, you are using your intuition in that particular point. So beautifully done and beautifully, the colors are really nice, muted. It's a really good, easy deck to shuffle and an easy deck to read. And like I said, the box is brilliant. packaging. I love packaging of the cards. Okay, the box is so beautifully done. You know, it's such a good thing to be able to have your cards safely kept, rather than, you know, falling out the box. Because a lot of the boxes, when you open from the top, the cards just fall out. So this is just really nicely done, and I just love this book. It's just such a good learning book to have. So, you know, if you you're just tired of Rider-Waite decks, or if you just, you know, want to start reading something different, then I think that this is just a brilliant deck to start with, because it's got so much. You don't really need any extra book just yet, because everything is done so nicely. It's, you know, you can just read this book and start working with the cards. And this woman, Judith Sharman-Burke, she wrote a lot of books, and, you know, very, very well written books. So look her up on Amazon as well, you know, for some of her how to read the tarot kind of books. And, you know, she's really does explain things pretty well. So this is a deck I also highly recommend, especially as, you know, if you're starting off, or even, as I said, as an expert. I have done readings with this. I'm not an expert, but I have done readings with this deck. I've had it for a while now, and I enjoy using it. And you know, it's a deck is not just about the cards. It's also about how you open it, and how you interact with it, and the books that come with it. And that always adds to the pleasure of using a deck. A deck should always be fun to use. I enjoy tarot because I enjoy the artwork, I enjoy the decks, I enjoy the whole experience of actually opening the deck and reading the cards, and, you know, the box, the packaging, and that all adds to, highlights your own intuition, comes through by you enjoying a deck. So you should never have to read a deck and say, oh God, this is such a miserable deck, why do I have to read it? You should always open a deck and say, I love this deck and I enjoy it, it gives me pleasure, and it makes me smile every time I open it. And this deck does that for me. It makes me smile every time I open it, and I love the book, I love the cards, I love the box. It's so sturdy, it's just wonderful. So I hope that you have enjoyed this walkthrough, and yeah, give this deck a try. You know, it's not expensive, and I'm not showing you expensive decks that are going to break the bank. You don't have to have 100 decks. You find a deck that you enjoy, and that you know, ticks all the boxes for what you want. And decks for personal use, this is a really nice personal use deck. It's so clear. You know, whatever message you want to come through will come through so clearly. I mean, this is the Two of Swords. It's showing you so nicely the little butterfly of transformation over there, the confusion that is coming from with these crossed swords, you know, and everything is really very clear. It's absolutely plain. You can see this new moon going to a new cycle here, so everything is absolutely clear when you are looking at the cards. And I would highly recommend you purchase this deck if you are looking for to buy a deck. Like I said, if you want to just start reading, or you are even an experienced tarot reader, this is something that will just make your tarot reading experience so much more pleasurable. So I hope you've enjoyed this deck walkthrough, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave me some comments. I'll continue doing deck reviews, and please visit my website as well. I'm planning to start a blog site there, maybe discussing the decks, or even just a general what you think of things blog. So visit my website. And thank you so much for watching this video. Take care now. Goodbye.